Hello, I'm Wendy. I'm an artist and an author, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about little beautiful things and how I'm making my life pretty again. Now, I can't say that I've slid away from that too much, but I think beautiful things are joyful. They bring peace and joy. So I have several practical ideas that you can adopt or decide if they work for you to make your life pretty again. Around the home, place a single flower in a bud vase by your sink in the bathroom, or a scented candle beside the sink. Just add a little touch of beautiful. Put pretty napkins on the table. Now, cloth ones are lovely. I don't use them as much as the beautiful paper ones because, for one reason, I really like design and I like to change the look of everything. Seasonally, I change my tablecloth and the colors and all those things. And also, I often wear lipstick and I don't want lipstick on my cloth napkins, so I use the paper ones. But whatever works for you, it just makes a meal a little more beautiful. You can also rearrange a corner table seasonally, add a small decoration, a candle, a picture of someone you love, just something that's pleasing to you. A book, a sketchbook, whatever feels right and makes your surroundings feel more pretty. Add a soft throw blanket to a favorite chair. I have a summer one and I have winter ones, and I change them out to go kind of with the mood and the colors that I'm using in the room, and it just makes everything feel more beautiful. Keep a small bowl of lemons or apples on the counter. That pop of color is just a little addition to make a space more beautiful. I have a handmade bowl that has a Saskatoon berry motif on it, and I just keep it on the counter all the time and put fruit in it as fruit comes in and is comfortable being in room temperature. So right now I have a peach, an avocado, and 4 nectarines. Little creative touches. Start a tiny sketchbook and just put a little doodle, draw a tiny flower, or write a word on every page once a day. I love that idea, actually. I really love making tiny art, and the idea of just having it not be a job. It's just a 2-minute exercise to add some beauty to your life. Use washi tape and stickers to pretty up your journals, your planner, or even envelopes. I do that all the time because I love design and love art. I also love stickers, and I use a happy planner, and I also work more in projects than everything timed. So I don't often fill up the spaces with what I have to do, because if I write paint, I know what I'm working on, I know what I'm painting. So I decorate my pages with stickers in often in different themes. Like last week I had a beach theme, and so all the pages had tropical beach stickers on them. And those kind of things just make my life seem more pretty and make me happy. Frame postcards, old calendar pages, or greeting cards as inexpensive wall art. I love that idea too, because we all have a calendar and they usually have beautiful photographs on them. I've taken greeting cards and just got a simple frame either from a dollar store, a discount store, or even a thrift store if I happen to go in and find one, and use those as art because I happen to love the picture. I remember once I was in Seattle, I happened upon an art market, and someone there had a picture of a seagull that I really loved. And I have it framed on my dresser in the bedroom because it's a painting as a greeting card, as a painting. Collect sea glass, shells, or pine cones and display them in a bowl. So depending on the season and if you like to change the decoration, or if you have a certain theme, like for example, if you live in a log house, what actually works with the theme? You can make it whatever you want, but if you want to keep with your log lodge kind of theme or mountain theme, you might want to use pine cones. Whereas if you've decorated your home with a beach theme or a seaside theme, then you want to use something like beach glass or seashells just to bring out those things, because obviously if you've chosen that style of home, that style of decorating, those are the things that you think are pretty, and those are the things that make you happy. So here's some things you can do daily that make your life more beautiful and happy, joyful, lovely. Light a candle when you make your morning tea or coffee. Just keep it on the counter and light a candle. Play soft background music while you cook or if you're tidying up. Spray your pillow with homemade lavender mist at bedtime. Wear a favorite pair of earrings even when you're staying home. What I do in the morning, that's kind of part of my morning routine, well, it is every day, is I get dressed as though I'm going to go out. It saves me time later because then I don't have to stop what I'm doing and get ready and then go out. So in the morning, when I get dressed, I'll also put on my makeup, I'll fix my hair. I don't usually put lipstick on until I leave the house, but I'll always put on earrings and a necklace. And I have these jewelry things. Why leave them sitting in a drawer when they just make life more pretty? And speaking of lipstick, why not put it on every time you go out the door? Put it on when you're going for a walk. Not that it's for anybody else necessarily, but it's just kind of uplifting to know that you look after yourself. And here's some budget-friendly ideas. Visit a thrift store once a month for a treasure hunt. Maybe you'll find a scarf or a mug or a dish or something that just will add a little bit to your life. And after you get tired of it, you can donate it back to the thrift store. Swap books and magazines with someone else instead of buying new ones. Now, I'm a real magazine person. I love getting magazines. I love keeping them. I love getting them out and looking at the pictures or reading them again. But there are some that I can part with, that when I'm done with them, I feel like, well, I'm done with this. I can let this one go. And in that case, I will donate them to a thrift store or share them with my daughters if they want them, or neighbors or friends or whatever. Try growing a pot of herbs or violet on your windowsill. Little flowers or seeds or, I haven't had an African violet on my windowsill for years. But in early spring, when the primulas come out, I always get one and put it on my kitchen windowsill. Use a pretty dish instead of a plastic container to hold your jewelry or your keys. In fact, we've kind of moved away from plastic as much as possible and even keep our leftovers in the fridge in glass containers. It's not only healthier for you, but it just looks nicer. Make your own bookmarks with ribbon, lace, or pressed flowers. And what I do is when I get greeting cards, I cut them up and use the beautiful pictures on the front for my bookmarks. So I always have a stack of bookmarks because I always have a stack of books on the go. And if you look at my bookshelves, you can see that there's always a dozen or so that still have a bookmark in them where I stopped reading because I got sidetracked probably by a new book. Start a joy journal. Now, I got this idea from Dr. Sarah Nichols, and I'll put her link down below. She suggested a joy journal rather than a gratitude journal, which there's nothing wrong with, and if you want to do that, that's fine. But I love the idea of a joy journal. And in it, you write all the lovely and wonderful things that happen in your day, such as yesterday, I was going to go to church. My husband had to go early because he was the sound man for the day. I was all ready to go, and when I got in the car, it wouldn't start. Now, this problem with my car has been going on for 8 weeks. We spent hundreds of dollars to get it fixed, and the problem still isn't fixed, and it'll start sometimes and it won't other times. So I don't really like going out in it by myself, but I was going to church where my husband was, and he's pretty knowledgeable about mechanics. And so I thought, well, it's okay, I'll go, everything will be fine. But the car wouldn't even start. And I thought, I tried 4 or 5 times and I went, okay, I'm just not going. So instead, I looked for the bright side and I went for a long walk in the morning sun because it's summer and it's really quite warm out. And I came home and I read a book on my deck, which I love to do. To me, doing that is like the epitome of summer joy. So that's the kind of thing I would write in a joy journal. Today, I went to the little vegetable shop around the corner and they had cherries. And it's really unusual to have cherries in late August. So I bought the cherries because I love to eat them, but also because they're so pretty. You could memorize a short Bible verse and write it out in fancy script. So what I do sometimes is I'll just ask the Lord if he has a verse for me, or I'll just open the Bible and read something. And if it strikes me as something important, then I'll write it down in a journal. And then I'll ask God if He has anything to say about that. I love the idea of sort of combining that with the tiny journal and using a fancy script, write it out. Now, you might not be proficient in a fancy script, that's fine, but you can also do it in colored pen or pencil, and to just have that there so some other time when you flip through it, it'll mean something to you. Keep a little prayer corner with a candle and a favorite verse or picture. I have a chair in my bedroom that I like to use when I kind of want to be alone and I want to read. And I have a little stack of books that are always there, and I think I'll put a candle next to it. Take a short walk and pause to notice something pretty. There are so many beautiful things in nature. The other day, my husband and I went to go to the Dairy Queen, and it's a drive, about a 10-minute drive from it. And it's not in my town, it's in a different area. I live basically in a village in the country. He missed the turn, and so he had to take another turn and to turn around to go back to the road. And as we did that, we realized that there was a little gravel back road going through the blackberry bushes. And I said, oh, there's a back way in here to this area where the little restaurants and fast food places are. While he was turning around, a bunny hopped out of the bushes down the road a little bit and just lipperty-lipped it across the road. And I'm like, oh, there's a bunny. And it was just a sweet little moment. But that's the kind of thing you might want to write in a joy journal. It's almost like a pretty little surprise. And I think it's really a good idea to make a note of those. So when you have days that aren't going well or life is not so much fun, you have that to look back on and remind yourself that joyful things do happen. But also, it causes you to focus more on what's joyful and what's beautiful. When you're going through daily life looking for those things, it sort of elevates your entire day and therefore your entire life. I hope you find something useful that you can use to make your life prettier. And please subscribe to the channel and click the little bell to get the notifications. I'd love to have a comment about what you find makes life pretty or beautiful or more joyful. And I'll see you next time.